show you how to create a test on Google Forms and have that test automatically graded by an add-on called Flubaroo. So the first thing you want to do is go to your Google Drive, select New, More, and Google Forms. This is the test that we're going to create. I want to change the test name. The first test my kids take is called the safety test, so that's just what I'm going to use. And in the form description, I'm going to tell them to use the hard copy to answer the following questions. The first question I want my kids to answer is their name. So the question title for the first one is going to be first. In the help text, I'm going to say, type in your first name. I'm going to change this from multiple choice to text because I want them to be able to type their answer in. And I'm going to select done. I'm going to add another item because I want them to be able to put in their last name. I'm going to tell them the same thing. Type in your last name. Again, change it from multiple choice to text so they're able to type in. Click done. I also have my kids put in an email address, and this is going to be important only if you want them to be able to receive their scores and their responses in an email. Okay, now I can start building my test. So I'm going to select Add Item, and this is going to be my first test question, so I'm going to call this number 1. This is where you can also type in the actual question that you want to ask if you're not giving your kids a hard copy. But I am giving my kids a hard copy, so I'm just going to type in number 1 and remind them to use the hard copy to answer the questions. This is a multiple choice question, but I like to use the choose from list option because it makes it shorter and it saves space on my class webpage. I keep the first option blank so that they don't get confused and think they've already answered the question when they actually haven't. Again, I want to make this a required question so they cannot skip it and submit without answering it. Once I check that everything's there, I'm going to click done. Now let's pretend that my question my test has 5 questions. I don't want to do each one of those every time, so I'm just going to click this duplicate button, and it's going to create the same exact test question for me, and I'm going to do it 5 times that I have 5. Now all I have to do is go in and change the question number. Now my test is done. I can change this confirmation page text here, and I typically make this like what do my kids need to do next, right? The whole purpose of them taking a test online or with this system is so that they can kind of work at their own pace. So what do I want them to do next? I'll say, great job. If you are satisfied with your score, please start working on blah, blah, blah. Whatever I want my kids to work on next, that's what I'm going to put there. And this is going to pop up as soon as they hit the submit button. That's my test. Now I want to go in and I want to create my answer key. So I'm going to click on this View Live Form, and it's going to take me to what my kids see when they go to take this test. And I'm going to start my answer key. So for first name, I'm going to type answer, last name, key, email I'm going to leave blank because I don't necessarily need an email right now. And I'm going to go in and put the correct answers for each one of these questions. And for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to select A. And I'm going to hit submit. Then I see my message here. Double check that that's what you want to say. And then you're going to go back to your safety test. You can actually exit out of this. Now that I'm in my safety test, I want to click on this button that says View Responses. If this button is not here, you can also find it underneath the Responses tab and click on View Responses. This Google Sheet is what automatically populates with your kids' responses. So I have my answer key there. Now, under add-ons, this is where the automatic grading comes in. Under add-ons, I already have Flubaroo here, but if you don't have Flubaroo already added onto your Google Drive, you're going to go to Get Add-ons. Flubaroo might be one of the ones that pops up first, and you can just click Get here, or you can search for Flubaroo. And it's free, it's awesome. Please select Get. I already have it, so it says Manage. Now, I'm going to go to my Flubaroo, and I'm going to click Enable Flubaroo on this sheet. Now it says that it's been enabled. I can access it from the sheet. I want this test to be able to grade automatically, so I'm going to enable auto grade. I need to hover over Advanced, select Enable Auto Grade. It tells me that I have to first set up my settings, so I'm going to click OK. And the first thing it's going to want to know is how am I identifying my kids and how am I grading my kids. So the first question I put in was the first name, last name, and email address. Flubaroo guesses that these are how I'm identifying my students, and that's correct, so I don't have to change that. But if I did, I would just click here and select it. And then I scroll down to my questions. Questions 1 through 5, normal grading. Awesome. Flubaroo guessed right. I'm going to hit continue. Now it's going to ask me which one of these selections is your answer key. Which one's the right answers? So you want to select your answer key and hit continue. And the last thing is, when I send an email out, how am I going to know where they go? So I'm going to select email because I want it to send it to my kids' email address that they put in. I'm going to include a list of the questions and the scores that they got. I could include an answer key, but I'm not. And message to include an email. For this particular test, they have to get 100%. So I'm going to say, if you got 100%, great job. If you did not get 100%, try again until you do. And then I'm going to select continue. Now Flubaroo has been auto-graded, or auto-grade has been enabled, and as soon as a kid hits submit on this form, they will get an email showing them their score and showing them which ones they got wrong. If you have any questions, please come see me in 218. I'd love to help you out.